Hello everyone, this is Carissa here, back with Elaine on our analysis series. So we're going to start on the marathon again.
Yes, correct. After the last marathon, this is the upcoming marathon, and today we're going to talk about
Zyon Grand. Yeah, so upcoming there will also be other launches, right? Within this last quarter, we have Zyon Grand.
So we just did Sky, and then now Zyon Grand.
Yes.
And upcoming we'll have Penreef.
We have
Faber,
and also Sen. If you are keen in any of the projects, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, as it is a motivation to us as well to continue to do research and also analysis for you guys.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Zyon Grand. I think one of the main concern would be the oversupply, because for some of you, you may have already know, last quarter we have got a lot of core central area launches.
Yeah, Promenade Peak, River Green. So we will also be touching on that, right?
We still have Robertson Opus and then Upper House. Everything is in core central area.
Yep.
So today now, I think this one is a very hyped up development, and then plus the fact that it's actually the last development that's going to be launched in core central area.
Correct.
For this year.
Yes.
Like really the end of this year. Then of course we have a lot of clients also asking us, so many launches in the core central area and also concentrating in the River Valley area, right? Now we have another Zyon Grand, which is actually about 700 units. Is there going to be an oversupply?
Yeah, I think this is a big question in a lot of buyers' mind, whether is there oversupply in the River Valley itself. And plus, for Zyon Grand, they also have the service apartment. So a lot of buyers might be thinking, with the service apartment, will this have any impact on me if I were to buy this for a renter, to rent it out? So today, not only we'll be touching on the standard ones, which is the location map, site distribution, unit mix, etc., the layout analysis, we will also be touching on these two key points, which is the oversupply and also the service apartment. So please remember to like and subscribe to our channel.
This is our contact. Please do help to like and subscribe, because this keeps us going to do a lot of research for all of you, so that you have an in-depth understanding of all the upcoming launches. Whether is it going to be for this Zyon Grand that you're looking at, or for any of the post launches or coming launches, right? At least you have an understanding of all the project information. And if you're going to get something, right, what will be the best kind of unit type?
Correct.
Because not all projects are same.
What are the key things to look out for? Because every different project really runs differently.
So we're going to start on Zyon Grand now, the location.
So location is where we just drawn. It's actually just right beside Havelock MRT station.
Yes, that's why it's actually integrated. There's actually a direct link to the Havelock MRT station. Yeah, actually Promenade Peak is here.
Yeah, right above.
It's actually side by side. So later we have another diagram to show you. So this is actually the actual location, which is actually next to Havelock MRT station. In terms of the nearest MRT, this is actually the TL line. Then of course our closest mall will be Great World City.
I think the next one we will have more of the project info and also the elevation and what is it facing. I think the surrounding views is also a key thing that a lot of buyers are looking at, right?
Because this one, Zyon Grand, is also similar to Promenade Peak. It's actually at 62-story high.
So Zyon Grand is in District 3. It's actually
CDL.
joint venture between CDL and Mitsui Fudosan. 2 blocks of 62 stories. And then, like we mentioned, there is also one tower of 36 stories, long stay service apartment. This is what? SA2.
SA2.
They call it SA2, right? Because SA2 means that minimally they have to rent for 3 months.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
Typical service apartment previously, minimum I think 7 days.
Yeah.
So the SA2, actually I just got to learn about this as well from our colleague. So this SA2 is actually a newer kind of service apartment. The minimum stay is 3 months.
3 months, correct. So like we mentioned, it's an integrated, so we have restaurants, supermarket, and also a childcare. Okay, so TOP expected to be...
Vacant possession 2032. As of now, developer hasn't really commit on the estimated TOP. Usually it's earlier, but the vacant possession is 2032. Total number of units is 706. So we also got like stated the car park lots 595 consists of 565 of residential, 30 lots for commercial. So these are some basic project information. This is actually the site plan.
Between the 2 blocks is about 32 meters.
32 meters. This is actually the 2 blocks of the 62, this one. And this is actually the service apartment. We haven't really seen the show flat yet. It's not available.
So we haven't really seen
we are
it
excited
yet.
to see.
Because I really like the building itself.
Because
the
we
facade.
see the artist impression, right?
Yeah.
The flower design.
Yes, the very flowy kind of facade. Actually, in the CCR region, there are a lot of developments that are a bit more high-end one, are all in this kind of look. So I really like it a lot.
So it stands out in terms of the architectural design.
Yes, correct. This is the surrounding and views. Just now we mentioned, right? So in front here is Promenade Peak, right?
Over here.
Of course, we have some internal facing
I don't know whether you can see this clearly. So it's basically facing either towards more of the promenade peak this direction, or if not, will be towards this direction.
Okay, so this direction actually more of our left here, this part is actually unblocked. It's more of unblocked. Then of course we have here as well. I think we will have some pockets of view.
Then this is the elevation chart.
So for the elevation chart, it starts from 1 plus study all the way to a 5-bedroom, and of course 2 units of a 5-bedroom penthouse. So this one is in terms of percentage, what kind of distribution it is. Let's say for example, if you talk about 1 plus study, we have about 8%, which is 59 units. 2 bedrooms consists of 33%. And then of course 3 bedrooms at 41%, 4 bedrooms at 14%, 5 bedroom at 2.5%, and penthouse at 0.3%.
I think it is still quite evenly distributed.
Yeah.
Because quite a bit of the developments, they actually focus a lot more on the 1 and 2 bedroom.
Correct.
So usually that's like a heavier weightage. But maybe also because of the fact that this is actually a relatively bigger development. So they actually have got quite a fair bit of distribution between the 2 bedroom and also the 3 bedroom, which is typically the higher demand kind of unit mix.
Correct. So in terms of quantum wise, because of the size, right? Actually later we will touch on a lot on the entry price of the 3 bedrooms in Zyon Grand itself.
We'll do a guesstimation of the pricing. This is the artist impression. If you look at this, the one in the middle, it shows the 2 towers of the 62-story residential, and then the one which is next to it is actually the service apartment.
Yeah, so this is the part where we see it's very flowy. If you look at this picture itself, right, the architect is already very award-winning, I would say.
Yeah.
If you look at this, it's very outstanding, very prominent. Then we have, of course, the
rest will be the artist impression as well.
the pool and everything, the gym.
I think this one, right, really we have to see for ourselves. And the show flat is open.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking at the pictures, we know it is really nice. But taking a look at the physical show flat will be even better.
So now, come to the most important point, which is the supply in River Valley.
So many launches, so many units. Okay, let's take a look at the table.
So
over here.
exactly how many units are?
Okay, so we did a calculation. This one on the left side, we actually name out River Green, Promenade Peak, River Valley Green, and then
River Modern, and of course Zyon Grand.
So River Modern and River Valley Green is the 2 plots that are not out yet. So if you look at the map on the right side, Promenade Peak is here, Zyon is just next to it. You can see my cursor here. River Green was the one that was launched just recently. And then we have River Modern. The name is out, but it's not for sale yet. Anyway, I think likely should be next year. And then there's another plot
Parcel
over
C.
here, which is actually the River Valley Parcel C. Based on the estimation of Parcel C and River Modern, so this is the total number of units. 2,876 in this whole area. So actually, do you think it's an oversupply?
I think a lot of buyers will think it's oversupply. Even I also sometimes feel it's a bit oversupply.
Okay, looking at this, right, our clients feel that there's an oversupply because there's actually a lot of developments. Then it's like, wow, one after another. But if you recall, right, in Singapore, we also have got the mega development. Let's say, for example, Treasure at Tampines is a really one example.
2,200 units
2,200
in one
units
development.
In one development. So if you're talking about oversupply in this area, is there an oversupply in Treasure at Tampines? They're actually internal competing with one another. But then again, they actually do make good profit.
Yes, easily it's 500 and above.
I think because of the entry price, they enter at the correct price. And in terms of the certain unit type, there is actually good demand. And that's why the price appreciated. And if we were to talk about 2,000 over units is an oversupply, then for that, it's actually not. So same thing when we come back to Zyon Grand or if whichever of the River Valley plot, right? Most importantly is to be able to identify which is the correct unit type to go into in each of the development. So that we will understand that if I'm buying a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom, who are my competitors? So that's always what we talk about in our previous project.
And I think most importantly also when you zoom down into certain unit types, when I want to exit, who is my target audience? I think that is very important.
In that particular area.
Correct. Let's say we're looking at 3-bedder, who is our target audience? 4-bedder, who is our target audience? And whether these people, can they actually afford this kind of quantum or not? Or such quantums, is it affordable to them? So later we will also touch on
the exit strategy in a way, or how we're going to exit if let's say we would own a unit here. Okay, so we talk about the number of units in the area. And just now, if you remember, we talked about how outstanding this development is because of the architects, how they actually position it in terms of the whole structure and facade. This is actually one thing which I feel that is important because if I can remember correctly, the last development, if you remember, is Canning Hill Pierce by CDL and Capital Land. They have some similar elements. they also have got service apartment. It's also integrated development.
Correct.
Plus the fact that the architecture, the facade is also very outstanding.
Yes.
That is also one of the reasons why the demand and the take-up rate is actually relatively very healthy and strong when it's actually first launched.
Correct.
So coming back to Zyon Grand now, we also have a very outstanding facade and structure. Why do you think this is important?
Because actually, if you look at the rest of the other plots, or if you look at a building that is a bit more outstanding, right? So actually, it's very hard to miss. It's just the MBS ma. So I think for Zyon Grand, right, in that area itself, in terms of the facade and everything, it's one of the more prominent ones. Plus, I think because we are surrounded by, when you see this yellow road, right, this yellow thing over here, is actually the main road.
The main roads, the one in yellow.
So if you look at this, it's actually surrounded by 3 main roads. Wherever you're traveling towards Great World City or towards town or towards city or wherever, right, you will definitely not miss Zyon Grand.
That's true, because you are facing the main road plus the very outstanding development, I think is something that you cannot miss. And we think that this is actually important, or rather one of the highlights. Yeah, especially when you are in an area that one project is after another. The thing is that with high visibility and being a very prominent development, sometimes the clients or the buyers cannot miss, and then it will actually generate a certain demand for it. Yeah.
Correct.
Because I stay in the outskirts, I mean mass market. So there are some developments really is, people just don't know when I say the names. Then they were like, where you stay? Why is the development name like that? Because they don't know. It's always hidden in the midst of the rest of everything. But then in my area, when you talk about certain developments, people will know. Because they are like really more prominent. They are more mega and more prominent. So this is actually the concept that we want to bring to you. Firstly, we talk about the number of units, but we also understand that in certain mega developments, there are also massive mega developments, which is like 1,005 to 2,002 over units, like Treasure at Tampines. So oversupply may not really be oversupply. More importantly, is to be able to understand which is the correct unit type for specific project.
Correct.
Plus the fact that the location, the strategic location, with the complement of all the architect, design and everything, it can actually be one of the more outstanding development.
It's just like when you drive past like AYE or whatever, you look left or right, you will see Normanton Park.
Oh yeah.
Or if not, then you drive past, you will see Interlace.
Not saying the rest is no good. Each of them has its, of course, its strength and weakness lah. But this is something that is one of the highlights in terms of the location where it is positioned at. So this is Zyon Grand. The next concern will be the service apartment. This plot of land, CDL joint venture, only bidder. So previously, for this plot of land, CDL is the only bidder. Then, of course, if we were to just look at the article headline, right, then we would think that, is it because there's no demand here? Or is it the plot is very expensive? So a lot of questions, especially when we just read the headline. But there's actually more to it. So meaning to say that actually for this plot, right, the requirement is that if you want to build a residential, you also need to have a service apartment.
Yes.
But the thing is that not all developers will want to have a service apartment in the development because it does not generate immediate income. You don't sell the service apartment.
Correct.
Residential, you sell to consumers. But
Yes.
service apartment, you cannot sell.
Yeah.
But you still need to build. You still need to have the construction cost.
And they're the first to pilot this long stay of a minimum
The
of 3
SA2
months. Yeah, correct. They're the first to
yeah
pilot
lor.
there, over here.
You need to have a certain amount of confidence
Yes, correct.
and pocket
Deep enough.
in order to be able to have this whole mega integrated service apartment or whatever.
So having said that, right, how exactly this service apartment will actually affect us?
Affect the residential,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Yeah.
So we will now talk about the pros and cons of the service apartment. Now we do a breakdown. So actually, if you were to rent or if you were to come to Singapore, you want to work or stay or even for holiday, there are also 3 types of rental, right? So if let's say for short term,
Hotel.
we will stay in a hotel. And of course, hotel, if let's say we talk about in terms of fees wise, it will definitely be the highest. And then service apartment, of course, we talk about mid-term, some are 7 days, some are 3
This
months,
is the
which is
one
like
with the
this.
3 months,
yeah,
yeah.
3 months. So this one, I would say, if let's say if you were to compare to a hotel, then it will be in the middle range in terms of the rate. So it won't be as high as the hotel rate. So it will be in the middle. So of course, there are also long-term ones, which is the condo or even
Our
the one-
usual rental.
Yeah. Rent a HDB, that will be long term. Of course, among the 3, it will be one of the lowest. So how does the service apartment actually helps to benchmark the rental and increase the rentability? So now we look at Great World Residence rate.
This is also a service apartment.
Yeah, correct.
And it's just next to it, so it's a very good comparison.
So the 2-bedroom, right? Now we look at this family size of 2 to 4 packs, it's about 10 to 11,000. Then we talk about 4 to 5 packs, which is about 3 bedroom. It's already $13,500.
For 10,000, you can rent a very good size in a core central area also, or a normal condo residential. But because I think as real estate agent, we also experience tenants who really stay in service apartment, especially when they first come to Singapore. They want to look at which are the areas near their workplace.
Correct.
They want to stay temporarily to feel for it first while searching for a longer term of accommodation. That's usually the transition period lah. So that's why service apartment, because of the shorter term, the monthly rental is actually higher. That's first thing. Second thing is that the service apartment, the developer cannot sell ma. So I'm sure they need to cover certain costs because they also provide services. Everything all in, that's why usually the monthly rental is definitely on the higher side. I feel that service apartment, in a way, pros of it is that it can actually help to, what I stated over here is to benchmark the rental. Because you just imagine, Zyon Grand over here, residential, next to it is actually the service apartment. Although now the sizes are smaller lah.
Yes, so now I'm an expert. I stay in a Great World residence. I want to rent for long term. I will try to find back the same
same location.
Because I'm familiar and I'm also, of course, an expert, and then I'm very familiar with the area. So I will want to find somewhere in the near vicinity.
Correct.
So that is how we feel that it will benchmark the rental and, of course, increase the rentability in terms of in Zyon Grand itself.
Correct. Yes. And also because if let's say the service apartment is offering 10,000, actually if I'm an owner in Zyon Grand, I'm owning a 2-bedroom unit. The nearby vicinity is transacting about 5 plus to 6,000. Where my service apartment is at 10,000. I don't need to go with a lower rate of even 6,000 or 5,000. I don't have to go below market value to get my house rented because my next door neighbor is already renting at $10,000.
Correct.
So this will really help to benchmark because the value of the rental in Zyon Grand is already there.
It's already been done.
Yes.
In a way, for the service apartment with 10K.
Taking Great World residence
as a reference.
And of course, like what Carissa has mentioned, it can be tenants from Great World residence. It can also be tenants from the Zyon Grand service apartment. They can be staying there for a while to see whether they are comfortable, they like the area. If they like, right, a certain percentage of these people, right, will actually come over to the condo if they want to secure a longer term at a lower rate.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure, you won't be renting your 2-bedroom at Zyon Grand at 10,000, right? You also cannot rent out lah. Realistically can lah. Because the surrounding condo is about 5,500 to 6,000. So offering that, if we offer 6,000, it's already a, what? $4,000 per month for the tenant.
60%. 40% discount.
Yes. 40 to 50% discount. So it works. It helps to really benchmark the rental and also to increase the rentability. Okay, so we talked so much about the pros of it.
How about the cons?
Definitely we'll have cons lah, right?
Just now what you mentioned, because of the service apartment, the developer can't sell. So if they can't sell, means that they have to factor in certain amounts, right?
Take their money back from somewhere.
So where is the money is coming from? So actually, in terms of all the 3 plots, if we talk about Zyon Grand, the bidded land price is about 1,202. Then we look at River Green is 1,325 and Promenade Peak at 1,304. So that means actually Zyon Grand is actually one of the lowest. But if you look at River Green, I mean, they have already launched, so it's about 2,008. Then this is 2,680. So
the starting price when they launch, right?
Correct. So what will exactly be the starting price for Zyon Grand?
With the land price at 1,200, will it be lower than Promenade Peak?
To be honest, like we said, service apartment, they have to take back the money somehow. So just from where? So that's why here we say, right, we actually stated here that does lower land cost equals to cheaper selling price? Because with the service apartment being a factor, it might not be translated that way.
Plus the fact that actually if I'm a developer, I know my surrounding already transacted a certain price. Even my land is cheap, I will also not want to sell at a cheaper price, right? Because I already know the acceptance level of my nearby surrounding vicinity. But why we are sharing this is because we also want you to understand that really the lower land cost may not equate to cheaper selling price.
Correct.
Because some consumers, they will feel that if that's the case, I will be expecting Zyon Grand to be at an extremely low price, much lower than Promenade Peak. And then you may end up, because of that, right, because you're not prepared for that, you may end up losing the opportunity because you feel that it's actually overpriced. But in fact, it's not. So this is actually one of the not so good in terms of the service apartment because the developer really needs to take some money from somewhere. So that's one thing. Then if that's the case, now we say that, oh dear, they have to take money from somewhere. Does it mean that their per square foot price is going to be high, like rocket sky high?
Now if you look at Promenade Peak and River Green, right, Promenade Peak will have actually the lowest starting price in terms of PSF.
Which we know already because it already
Yes.
launched.
Yes. Lowest starting price in terms of quantum, it will be River Green.
Because they have the smaller size.
Yes. So now, how do we actually guess?
Guesstimate.
Guesstimate. Yeah, just like you said.
I don't know if this is actually an actual word, but I told her we are going to do a guesstimation. So we're going to guess the estimated pricing. Because right now, CDL hasn't released the actual indicative price. In all our videos and research, right, we also want to have an estimation so that we are prepared to share with our clients, so that we can actually work on the budget of what we have to see what is actually the best unit. So with that, River Green, right, the highest per square foot price transacted is actually 3611 if I remember correct. So we put it at 3006. But because Promenade Peak and River Green, there's one distinct difference because this is actually 62 and this is actually 36 story.
Correct.
And Zyon Grand happens to be similar to
Promenade Peak.
So we look at the next slide. Yeah? We also understand for most of the developer, they will actually price a price difference of about 0.5% per floor jump. So from my second floor to my third floor, there will be a 0.5% in terms of the price difference. Then third floor to fourth floor, another 0.5 difference. Now the thing is that Promenade Peak and River Green, difference in the story. So if I draw here, Promenade Peak, this is actually PP. We have 62. And then this is actually River Green 36. If the developer wants to actually keep it at 3006, which has already been done by River Green. That means my highest price, I want to keep it at 3006 per square foot.
This is a scenario for them to better understand exactly how developers...
Pricing strategies.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Especially for CDL, I think 0.5% is something that they have been using or adopting. So if my highest price at 3006, for PP, I have got 62 level for me to work on.
Oh, I can play around with the 62 stories.
Yes, correct. I have got more stories. So if that's the case, right, my per square foot starting from can actually be lower. And in actual fact, it is lower than River Green.
Yes.
And then for River Green, because it's much shorter, based on the same kind of 3006 per square foot at the highest level, counting down back to the second floor, my lowest price per square foot from the second floor will be higher. It cannot be the same as PP. Because the story is lesser.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. So actually we did an Excel, right? But you can ignore the percentage because I don't know how to exactly work on Excel.
Okay, we just look at the first four numbers over here.
Correct.
Okay.
So if let's say if we just take 3006 minus a 0.5 for every floor and then we just drag down, that actually brings us to second floor at about
2664.
2664. Yeah, 2664. So that's how we actually count, let's say if it's per floor jump of 0.5.
Which is actually very close to what PP
has
initial price is. That is how we derive the estimation of the 0.5% as well in terms of the per floor jump. So while we're sharing this example, just now we mentioned that Zyon Grand, because of whatever reason, that the per square foot may not be as low as Promenade Peak, but it cannot be also too high. Imagine if they were to start very high from the second floor, let's say they were to start at 2009 per square foot, when they reaches all the way to 62 level, adopting the similar of 0.5%, right, it's definitely higher than 3006 already. So at the 62 story high, my per square foot can be 3009. So is this a realistic price? I don't think so.
So that means it's almost impossible to start at 2009 in a way.
I hope they won't, because if they really start at 2009, can be also the scenario of they are still keeping that 3006 at the highest floor, but instead of taking a 0.5, maybe they take a 0.3, 0.25, thereabout. If that's the case, then it's okay. That means to say, right, the per floor jump with the same kind of quantum budget, maybe you can get slightly higher floor or something like that.
Then if that's the case, then I'll go top down.
Yeah, but it's depending on what is the starting price from.
That's true also.
If it's too far off, then also your budget cannot match. Why we're sharing this is just to share with you on the pricing strategy of developer, how they actually adopt this pricing strategy. That's also why we can see that our estimate on this is actually quite accurate to the point that Promenade Peak starting price was actually previously about 226-ish, 27.
266 plus.
Yeah,
correct.
and then for River Green, their starting price is slightly higher, about 100 plus per square foot higher because of the lesser number of stories.
And they also end about 3.6, so that means they are in between. There should be quite a jump. That means it's not constant drop for 0.5 for River Green. So these are the things that you might want to take note as well.
So based on our understanding of how this pricing strategy works, right? Say for example, you were to come to us and say that with my given budget, and I want to have this certain size, we more or less can also help you to do an estimate for your budget. What is the maximum level you can go to? Thereabout.
At least you have an estimation before going to do any selection, and then you won't get caught by the pricing. Which one should I ask? How many stories should I go?
Imagine on a booking day you have 62 stories. Are you going to ask for all the you don't even know which is the level to start with to get the pricing.
Correct.
So these are some of the things we
concept
do.
The concept that you can actually adopt when you are choosing a unit.
The calculation that we do that can actually help you to better select your unit. So we talk about the from price up to the highest price.
Yep.
The next thing is that we also want to compare. Again, not saying that whichever development is better, but we want you to understand how different can the prices be comparing these three developments. So of course we have River Green, and then we have Promenade Peak, and we have Zyon Grand. We look at 2-bedroom first, okay? 2-bedroom for River Green, we know that the size is the smallest among all the three developments, so it's at 527 square feet. The price is 1.5 thereabout. So for Promenade Peak, it's actually on a bigger unit size for 2-bedroom, and the quantum price is 1.8. Although we say that Zyon Grand may not be the cheapest per square foot, but I think developer has thought this through very well, because if you look at the size, right, 538 for a 2-bedroom is actually the in-between for River Green and Promenade Peak. So it's the middle. So even the per square foot price, also the middle. Middle times middle is also
Middle.
Middle, or maybe even like what we calculate, right, can be even slightly more attractive than River Green. We don't know, because this is actually just an estimate of the per square foot lah.
If you say that it's starting from this price, because we didn't take Promenade Peak starting price, Promenade Peak is about 26 plus, right? So we take 2750 on the safer side, times the given size of Zyon Grand is 538. So that brings us to about 1.4. Even the PSA is slightly higher. In terms of quantum, it's very, very affordable.
Maybe even if it's not lower than River Green, it can be very similar, but you're getting a bigger size because of the middle range of the per square foot. So same thing for a 3-bedroom. So for 3-bedroom, River Green, the quantum is at 2.25, and then Promenade is at 2.7.
This one, I think there's a typo. Should be 818. So sorry.
This one is actually 818 square feet. So 818 multiplied by 2750, we are looking at a quantum about 2.2 something to 2.3, which again is also very similar to River Green, although the size is not as small, but we're getting quite similar quantum. We can actually say that it's actually lower than Promenade Peak. It's because of Promenade Peak size.
Because the equation is there.
The size multiplied by per square foot.
Right. The equation is already there. So the developer has to come out with a decent size, at the same time a decent layout.
That's why I think CDL really thought this through very well. Because I can capture the middle market in terms of the middle size.
So now we compare between River Green, Promenade Peak, and also Zyon Grand, the 2-bed, 1-bath. In terms of the sizing wise, the River Green is 527. Then, of course, Promenade Peak, we don't have any.
2-bed, 1-bath.
And then Zyon Grand at 538. So in terms of competition wise, we only have one. Then 2-bed, 2-bath, 603. Then Promenade Peak, we have 4 different sizes. And then Zyon Grand is 646.
Even though you have so many sizes, but you see Zyon Grand, the 646 is actually a smaller size compared to Promenade Peak. So again, it's a middle size.
Then after that, we have 657 for River Green again for the 2+ study. And then Promenade Peak again at 764, 786, and 797. Again, now we see Zyon Grand is at 721.
Middle size.
Which is the middle size. So slightly bigger than what we have in River Green, but it's definitely smaller than what we have in Promenade Peak itself.
So actually, if you have the River Green prices and the Promenade Peak prices, we already can more or less guess the Zyon pricing already. So same thing for 3-bedrooms, so we're not going to go through in details. But this one is actually more interesting for the 4-bedroom. River Green is at 980 square feet, and then Promenade is actually definitely bigger size. It's very affordable quantum for sure, but those who actually enjoy luxurious living or more ample space of really a proper 4-bedroom, then 1,004 even for Promenade is a very good size. So for Zyon, it's also at 1421, 15, and 16. But one thing which is different of this 1421 at PP and 1421 at Zyon Grand is that the 4-bedroom at Zyon Grand starts from level 2. Remember the 62, sorry? So for Zyon Grand, the 4-bedroom starts from level 2. You have level 2 all the way to 62. But for Promenade Peak, because of how the structure is, right, the lower floors are actually the smaller unit. The 1421 square feet starts from level 44.
Yep.
Which means to say, The per square foot is actually higher in Promenade Peak.
Because it's for 44, sorry.
Yeah,
So
I cannot sell you 44 at a lower per square foot than
Yes.
level 2, right? It also doesn't make sense. Actually, the Promenade Peak quantum starts from about 4.4, but if let's say for Zyon Grand, the lower floors at 2750, our quantum is about 3.9, whereas that one is 4.4, so we're looking at about 4 to 500,000 kind of difference.
yes.
But we're also not saying that high floor is no good, because clients who really like for own stay, they really like the views and everything. In fact, the purchase pattern can be also from top down.
But I think what we want to say here is that if let's say you're thinking of a 4-bedroom in Zyon Grand itself, there is a chance that if let's say you don't mind a low floor, I can get it at 3.9.
I don't mind a low floor.
Don't mind a low floor. That means I can still enter the market like 500,000 lesser than my neighbor.
Yes.
With the similar, same size, 3.9, I think is a very digestible quantum for a lot of buyers in today's market.
So that's for our guesstimation of the prices, comparing the sizes of the 3 developments.
So now we go to the layout analysis. We will start from 1 plus study. So 1 plus study, pretty standard. We only have one stack, which is stack 11 over here. And then I think layout wise, pretty much standard. This is the study space. Then of course, for 1 bedroom, I think they can squeeze in a dining area. It's also quite not bad lah.
Also because we forgot to mention that this
there's
project is harmonized.
Oh yes.
It's a harmonized development.
And no balcony.
No balcony.
Oh yeah, this one, the 1 plus study has no balcony.
So imagine you add 474, add a 7%, actually the area can be the previous 500 plus square feet.
Correct.
Plus the fact that it's no balcony, which means to say the livable space, the internal space is actually really spacious.
Non-harmonized is about 507. Then without balcony some more. So that means the space itself, I think most of it is pretty much usable.
That is why at 474 we can actually have the study area.
Yes.
So this one is actually for 1 plus study.
Yeah, so I think a lot of buyers, they buy 1 bedroom or 1 plus study mainly for rental. So in the River Valley area, 1 bedroom rental yield, let's just take Rivier as for example, 500 to 600 square feet. The average rental is about $5,000.
We're taking Rivier as a reference because of 2 things. Rivier is also in District 3, it's actually very near to us, and also one of the newer TOP development. Secondly, because Rivier also has a service apartment. So this could be also the reason why, because if I would compare another development in terms of the rental, it's almost there, but Rivier still can be able to fetch a more attractive rental. That actually can also be what we have shared just now. Service apartment actually do play a part in terms of the benchmarking the rental.
Holding on to a certain price, right? The starting price of Zyon Grand, let's say, starts from 2750 at a quantum of 1.3 million. 5,000 rental. If that's the case, we are looking at a yield of 4.6%, which is very decent.
Good yield.
Yes, very good yield. So if let's say, even if I enter today at 2850 at 1.35 million, my yield is also at 4.45%, which is also very decent.
Very decent.
So I think the key point here you want to bring across is that, say for example, I buy, I will have to sell in the future. So if I were to sell, let's say we talk about, I buy it at maybe 27 or even 28, 2850. I buy it at this price, I make maybe about $200 PSF. Even the next buyer that comes in to buy from me, they also have about 4.14% of yield. Which I think in today's market, if let's say I were to buy a 1 bedroom or even 1 plus study from another seller, if this becomes like 3.5, maybe it's not so lucrative.
I probably will have second thoughts.
So, but if let's say even if we choose to sell at this price, holding on this rental, we still see a 4.14% of yield.
I think that's also one of the reasons why some of your friends may be also sharing with you that, hey, right now if I buy 1 bedroom, in the resale market, is it difficult to sell because there's so many of the 1 bedroom out there. As an investment, I may want to cash out in a shorter span of 3 to 5 years. So there's actually naturally more supply of the 1 bedroom in the resale market. With this, what we want to share is that we do agree that certain 1 bedroom may be a little bit tougher to cash out. It's also because the rental is not able to sustain or justify for the purchase price. The rental affects the rental yield, so it's not enough to justify the purchase price that I'm buying over if I were to buy a resale unit.
Yes, correct.
So this example will show us that even if you were to cash out, if you're really fortunate to get at 1.3, having a 100 to 150 in terms of the profit for a shorter term, for 1 bedroom is actually very decent. My next buyer still enjoys a 4% yield. So this is the part that how we can actually exit in terms of my smaller unit. So that's for 1 bedroom.
So I think these are some of the considerations when you want to enter into a
Especially for one
bedroom.
bedroom.
Yes.
Unless your mindset is that I just want to get one bedroom for own stay, or I just want to keep it for a very long term, then of course the rental yield doesn't affect too much lah. But in terms of investment wise, I think this is actually something important for you to take note, so that you know that next time when you exit, your rental is able to support your price. The next buyer can still achieve a very good rental yield that increase your demand of your property in the resale market.
The exit would say it's slightly easier
Definitely,
compared to the
yes.
rest of the other projects that maybe performing at 3, 3.5, that sort of thing.
Because the next buyer looking at one bedroom is also very highly likely to be somebody who wants to buy for a rental investment. So that's for the 1 plus study. Next we come to 2 bedroom.
So 2 bedroom, again, we have the smaller size at 538 square feet, dumbbell layout,
Open concept kitchen.
pretty much standard I would say.
Also
but
no balcony.
Yeah, also no balcony, and then they also have a dining because the size is harmonized plus no balcony, so a lot of space are usable. This is only at stack 5, 59 units. Okay, so now we will again take 1 bedroom rental yield, for example, because for Riviera, if we talk about in terms of sizing wise, 538 is about this size mark. So if let's say ours is a 2 bed 1 bath, so we take an average of 5.5. Say for example, again we are entering at 2750, 1.48 million. The yield we are looking at is about 4.4%.
Also very attractive.
Yes,
for
very
2 bed, 1
attractive.
bath.
So again, same thing. If we were to exit at 3050, 1.64 million, same rental, it's also about 4%.
That means my next buyer who buy from me also can enjoy a 4% rental yield.
Yes, of course, that is the best scenario lah. If let's say I get it at 2850, I still have a $200 PSF jump, I still can exit easily. Easier lah, I would say, easier. Come to the 2 bedroom premium, 646 square feet at stack 12. Stack 12, also 59 units. This one a bit more traditional kind of layout. It's not the dumbbell kind, 2 bed 2 bath, but open concept kitchen. Also have a dining.
Got balcony
But this one
already.
balcony already. I think there's not much of a wasted space.
Oh, this one has got a window in a master bedroom, bath.
Oh, here.
I think because it's a corner unit.
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
it should be here, right?
Rare lah, quite rare. Because usually 2 bedroom is the intermediate.
Squeeze in between.
Yeah. So again, we look at the rental yield for the 2 bedroom. Similarly, we use back Riviera. So for Riviera 2 bedroom, there's 2 sizes. 818 and 840 square feet. So the transaction, we also take an average because it can actually go up to quite high at 67, 69, but we're using average of 65 lah.
Yep.
Also for the fact that we are slightly smaller in size. Same thing as per what we have discussed earlier on. If I were to get at 1.77 million, for a
2750 PSF.
yeah, then my yield is actually at 4.4%. If I were to resell it next time at 3050, actually there's 2 school of thoughts. Even if I were to buy at 3050 in today's Zyon Grand pricing at 1.97, I can also achieve a 3.9% yield.
Yep.
Why do I say that for this 2 bedroom of a bigger size? Because for Riviera 2 bedroom transacted price in the market is already at 2.5. So if I were to buy today brand new 2 bedroom 1.97, actually I still have a buffer of 500,000. Still enjoying a 3.9% yield.
So that means not only looking at the rental yield, this portion, we also look at like the potential of what has already been transacted, what has already been accepted in this area itself or in Riviera itself. So if we look at this, it's easily like maybe 500,000
Difference. Buffer lah, we just call it a buffer, a very comfortable zone. But of course, ideally, if you can get something much lower than that, then it will be also very similar to what we have mentioned. Next time when you want to exit, right, your next buyer will still be enjoying this 3.9% yield, which means to say that in terms of the exit later on is definitely slightly easier, much easier for you as compared to your so-called competitors. That's for 646. The next size that we have for 2 bedroom premium is 2 bedroom premium plus study is at 721. This one is a proper
study space.
This area over here.
This space maybe enclosable ma, you feel?
You have to do some renovation yourself.
Maybe put a bit of glass.
Glass will be good. Then you have more light coming into the kitchen.
Yes.
So dumbbell with balcony, proper balcony, not too big, and then with a proper study.
2 stacks in total.
For this unit, we are not looking at so much of the rental yield.
Yep.
Because honestly, you cannot get a good rental yield
in terms of size,
in
of size. Because let's say I want to buy for investment, I will probably want to pick something smaller.
Which makes sense in terms of your rental yield. So for 721, I think is mainly more for own stay. Or maybe if you want to have a longer plan of investment, then of course it's also okay because the layout is actually nothing much to pick on. Proper dumbbell with a study. So that's for 721. So in terms of 2-bedroom, our recommendation is at 2-bed 1 bath, 538, because in terms of the quantum, in terms of the rentability and the rental yield definitely is much more attractive.
Yes, and then of course, like we mentioned, the exit will be slightly easier in the future because of the yield that is providing right now.
So this is actually for 2-bedroom.
Again, so please.
A bit of airtime. We hope that you have liked what we have shared so far. Please like and subscribe our video because we really spend a lot of time and effort to actually do all the research and analysis. I'm Elaine, she's Carissa. This is not the end of the video yet, so we are still going forward. We still have the 3 and 4 bedroom. Alright, so this is actually 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom, we have the smaller size, it's actually 818 square feet. The other size is actually 861. Spot the difference between these two.
Kitchen?
Yeah, I think this is actually one of
The biggest
difference.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
For 861, they have a tuck kitchen with window and then with glass panel as well.
Yeah, window. All the place that you need windows have got windows lah. And then proper enclosable kitchen. So for 861, because it's a harmonized development, harmonized. Okay, you're going
I need to do my math again.
861 multiplied by about 7% more.
921.
Yeah, so 921. So for a previous, last time this kind of layout, previous size will be about 920.
About 920.
Yeah, something like that. 900 plus. So for 861, you have everything. I think it's a very decent layout. 818, I would feel that is more for upgraders lah. Because why? 818 definitely the quantum is much more attractive and affordable. So likely for upgraders. The only downside of it is the open concept kitchen.
Yes, correct.
But then again, maybe now the younger generation, they are very okay with this. Because I actually have
really
a client
cool,
who also bought a big size of a 2-bedroom but open concept kitchen. Yeah, like really open concept. Because they feel that, I don't cook. Because of the open concept, right, it makes my space even more spacious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have another space allocated for an enclosed kitchen. Maybe it's our traditional mindset that we feel that 3-bedroom needs to have an enclosed kitchen, but actually we may have a lot of clients. I think upcoming, the younger generation, they are actually very okay with this.
But of course, if let's say our viewers, those that have budget, we also recommend 861 more of 861 because it will appeal to more buyers also. It will
When
appeal
you
to more
want to
buyers.
cash out next time, your target audience, bigger crowd. Okay, so that's for the smaller unit of the 3-bedroom. We also have the 3-bedroom premium plus study, which is 2 sizes, 1055 and then 1076. Also, it's just 1 stack each. Actually, you say the development very big, 700 units.
Everything is one
the
stack.
layout is just 1 stack.
Yeah, 646 is also 1 stack. The 1 plus study is also 1 stack.
Each layout is only 58 units. It's actually not a lot also.
Exactly.
So for 1055 and 1076, honestly, we cannot spot any...
Huge difference. I think maybe a little bit on the master bedroom.
Oh yeah, you're saying this part here.
This part. I think here seems to be slightly longer.
Slightly wider.
Yeah, seems to be slightly
because
longer.
we don't have the actual dimensions.
Yes.
But from what we see, anyway, the size difference is not very big also. But in terms of what they have or what they should have, I think for this one, the layout is actually very nice.
It's a wide frontage.
We can call it also a wide frontage, just that there's an additional beam over here,
Yeah.
which helps you to build the study. Because if I'm not wrong, right, the study don't have a wall. It doesn't come with a wall because they never draw the wall.
Yeah, true.
But it's a concept that the space can be for study because why? You already have a dining area over here. So this is really purely your living area.
Correct.
But it also means to say if you do not want to really enclose it as a study, you actually have a wide frontage for your 3-bedroom, which I think is also not easy to come by for a 3-bedroom, 1,000 square feet to have a wide living frontage.
Correct.
So I think this one can appeal when you collect keys. I think can be quite spacious feeling.
Yeah, because when you walk in, it will be a slightly different
the
feel. Definitely be different compared to portrait.
And then you have what you need. You have a bomb shelter. You have the WC over here as well. Enclosed kitchen, 3-bedroom, good size. I think these two should be a very highly sought after layout.
Correct.
For this 3-bedroom premium plus study. Then next, we also want to understand
Target audience. Like we mentioned a few times, right? Like if you look at 3-bedroom over here, who will buy from us in the future?
Today you want to buy, even as a real estate agent ourselves, we want to buy into something, right? We also will be, not say scared lah, but a bit concerned like, next time who can I sell to? Next time, already at this price that in 2025, the price per square foot for most of the development is already there.
Yep.
Today, if I have to buy at this price, right, can I still make a little bit of profit, and can the next buyer be able to afford to buy from me?
And can I exit? I think there's a lot of...
Got people buy or not? To put it simply, got people buy from me or not? Got people buy or not? So that's why we want to understand the affordability of our target audience. So for 3-bedroom, we mainly looking at HDB upgraders. It can be also from private upgraders, but we're using the HDB calculation in a way to show you that actually maybe can. Yeah.
So even HDB is also possible in a way.
Correct, even for HDB upgraders. So we are taking this example, which is actually at Havelock, a 4-room flat at Havelock Road. There's 2 reasons why we took this example. Firstly, is because this one is actually just beside Zyon Grand. So people will stay there. I think it's very common that I stay here. I'm so comfortable in this location. I also want to upgrade. If I want to upgrade, I want to also look back at the same area. So that's the first reason. Second reason is because I also have a client. I have a client actually owns a 4-room HDB, and that's why I get to know our purchase price. Initially, which is actually very close to 500,000. So why do we need to know that? I'll show you in the next slide. Okay, so for this 4-room flat at Havelock, right now, current transaction is already at this price. 1.07, 1.08 for a 4-room HDB flat. Okay. Okay. Just now, as I mentioned, the average BTO price for the 4-room flat over there is about 450 to 550. I'm taking an average of that 500,000. That's what my client bought for also. So this 500,000, current transacted price is at 1.08 million. So that means to say today, if I were to sell and cash out, my proceeds that will come back, about
So cash and CPF is about 750.
I did an amortization on the loan, basically a 75% loan, and then for the 5 years of installment that I paid, my outstanding loan will be about 300 over thousand. That's why when I sell at 1.08, I'm able to get back about 750,000 in terms of my cash and CPF. Now today, if you own a Zyon Grand, 818 square feet,
I purchased it at 2750. So that means I have already purchased it at 2.25. Say for example, I only want to sell it at maybe 300,000 profit at 2.55. So I think now we want to know whether if I were to sell at 2.55, anybody can afford now. Is there anybody that can buy from me? So I want to know is it only private owners that can afford, or my profile of buyers are in the future? So taking this what Elaine have shared, her client bought a 4-room HDB last time. And then actually if I were to sell at 2.55, the buyer with the down payment at of course 75% loan, then with the buyer stamp duty, he only needs to come out with 735,000.
In order to buy your unit at 2.55 million.
Correct.
Right? And you make that 300,000 profit.
Correct. So that means it's possible. So that means 4-room in that area itself, the people easily can afford.
Yes.
And this one we only talk about 4-room. How about 5-room buyers? So that means I have a target audience of 4-room, 5-room, private.
Actually, this one is also a very realistic example already. For this 4-room flat, is transacted at just now what we show was 1.08, because this one is a slightly older HDB, about 12 to 15 years there.
Yeah.
But we also have got even the newer MOP HDB at Dawson, Queenstown.
Yep.
I have checked through the transaction, it's at 1.2 million. 1.2 million for the HDB. So easily it's a 200,000 difference already.
Correct.
So in terms of the affordability to get something to buy from you as a Zyon first owner, I think the exit is actually very comfortable. You really will have upgraders coming to you to look at your unit later on. But first thing first, we must also be able to identify the correct unit type and also the correct price to enter. So that's for the 3-bedroom. Next, we come to the 4-bedroom analysis. 4-bedroom, there's actually 3 sizes. The smaller size, 1421, starts from level 2. We have got 40 units, not a lot also. So 1421, in terms of the layout, is nice.
Even the utility has a window.
Rare.
Very rare, very rare. And I prefer this sort of private lift lobby.
It's because it's not in the middle, is it?
Yes, and number 1, it's not in the middle. Number 2, it doesn't opens up straight away. You see your living and your dining area.
Yeah, right.
So you need to see the kitchen. So
Come
if
out
you
here.
have someone following you, then they can only see.
Someone following you. That sounds good.
Your neighbours is in the lift,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then when they look, they can only see the kitchen.
Yeah, when you exit the lift, they only see the kitchen.
Yeah, but imagine it's somewhere here.
Then you're shaking leg in
Yeah.
the living room.
I don't really quite like this kind of if it's somewhere here last.
It looks straight into your living area lah. So this one at least you will not shake leg in a dry kitchen. You will
Exactly.
maybe the most is food preparation lah.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
You got a point here. Yes. But then of course not forgetting the wide living frontage.
Yes.
Actually, in fact, we've seen some layouts like that before. Then a lot of buyers will ask, can I do away with the dry kitchen? Because they want to put their dining here. If they put the dining here, they got super big living area.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that is renovation.
Yeah. Each individual preference. Some people they like dry kitchen because it can be for hosting. I can be for baking or whatsoever.
preparation,
Yeah,
really.
food preparation.
Then for your master, you have a walk-in wardrobe over here.
Which is very essential, I feel.
You have got junior master.
Which is also very important for
four-bedroom home.
especially in this area. Because we serve resale buyers. So resale buyers, they do look at all these things when they want to buy something to be comfortable and luxurious.
Luxurious enough for a 4-bedroom with the kind of price I'm buying into. I need my layout to be super efficient. I think this is a good layout. So that's for 4-bedroom premium with private lift. And then we have got the 2 bigger size, which is 1518, which is 4-bed supreme.
With
Very
private
seldom
lift.
they use the word supreme.
Oh yeah, correct.
to name the floor plan. 4-bedroom supreme with private lift. We have 1518 and 1615.
I feel typically about the same. About the same. Maybe slightly difference is the kitchen portion.
Now you mentioned about this thing. Luckily now all the facing is the same into the kitchen. So this one also face kitchen.
Yeah. Correct. Maybe I think it's just more the
The
placement of the kitchen.
Initially, this one is a more deep in portrait, the orientation of the kitchen. But this one is quite typical, like this aligned with the dry kitchen.
Yeah.
Basically, you have what you need. 1421 is already a very good layout. 15818 and 1615 is definitely even more spacious lah.
Yeah.
Because the layout is very similar.
Oh, I know where already. Bathtub. See? This one comes with bathtub, right? So whether you want to buy a bigger size with bathtub or don't need.
You pay quite a bit for the bathtub. Okay, so
I
that's the difference.
think mainly like
Sometimes it's like, not because I have additional space, then I put the bathtub. It's because client profile, target audience, there are certain requirements. Some clients really ask,
Correct.
hey, how come no bathtub? Sometimes you don't give, they say, how come don't have? Then you give already, they say, how come have? Yeah, so that's actually the sizes, okay? So 4-bed premium, this one is just to show you the difference
exactly
in terms of facing. Okay, so just now we talked about the 3-bedroom targeting at the HDB upgraders. From the case study, we know that there's a certain amount of affordability from the HDB upgraders.
Yes.
Now for 4-bedroom, we want to also look at maybe if it's not for HDB upgraders, how about the private upgraders? You could be staying not in a central area, maybe more of the outskirts, coming into the central area, or you may be staying in an older development in the same area, but you want to upgrade to a new development. So these are what we call the private upgraders. In my case reference over here, I'm taking Park Clementi's because Park Clementi's is actually in Clementi and it's actually a very highly sought after estate as well because it's actually quite near to Central. So I think that this is actually a good profile of the private upgraders who may want to really upgrade in terms of the location, coming more into the Central area. So for Park Clementi's, 4-bedroom owners in terms of their profitability, over here, probability, these 4-bedroom owners make a very decent profit of about 800 to 1 million. So 4-bedroom really has got good demand.
Especially in areas like this, and then I think the layout for 4 bedrooms in Park Clementi is also quite good. It was also not bad. If I never remember wrongly.
It's a mega development, and also because own stay like a lot of landscaping and everything. That's why identifying the correct unit type is important. So for Park Clementi's at 4-bedroom, the owners make an average profit. Let's just take 900,000. So I'll do my calculation. The average purchase price of the Park Clementi's 4-bedroom is about 2 million. Right now, the current transaction is at 3 million already. In fact, right, if you look at my previous slide,
3.4, 3.5.
it's on the higher side. I'm just taking an average of about 3 million. So based on a simple calculation, based on my profit plus my down payment, which I put in previously, I'm getting a 1.425 back if I were to sell my 4-bedroom Park Clementi's.
Yep.
Okay, next. Now I want to bring this customer to come to you to buy a house.
Okay, say for example, I were to buy a 4-bedroom in Zyon Grand, 1421 square feet. Let's say my entry PSF is about 2008. My purchase price is at 3.98 million. So say, for example, I also make the same profit as this Park Clementi's.
Because Park Clementi's already can make 900,000. You also want to have the 900,000,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. So if let's say it's about 900,000 profit, assuming I sell at 4.88 million, with a 4.88 million, that means my down payment plus the stamp duty has to be about 1.45. And that means that this buyer actually can afford.
I can bring my buyer to buy a house.
Yes. So I mean, of course, top up a little bit lah.
We want to show you that actually is doable. Importantly is to be able to enter at the correct pricing and with the correct layout. Of course, when we ask our client to buy a certain property, the first thing first, of course, is not so much on telling them how much profit they can make. But we just want to put this as an example to show you that the affordability of even the HDB upgraders or the private upgraders, the affordability is there. So definitely with a profit is a very good bonus. Importantly, as I mentioned again, is really to identify the correct unit type and also the kind of price that we're going to enter in each of the different projects because all projects are different.
Correct.
And then now we have our 5-bedroom analysis. 5-bedroom, actually we don't have analysis.
So it's just 5-bedroom supreme with private lift, 1819 square feet. Basically, it's just an enlarged version of the 4-bedroom.
Yeah, the walk-in wardrobe.
Slightly longer. This one can put a lot of bags. And then it comes with a bathtub as well. The 5th bedroom also shares the balcony. So this one has a balcony view as well. The view of the balcony, I think that's about all right.
Yeah, that's all. So for 5-bedroom, we never do analysis because 5-bedroom is if you like it, you like it.
You have the money, just buy.
Yes. If you like the location, it's within your affordability, everything else is good, just buy.
Yes.
And it's 18 units anyway. It's not a lot of units. Okay. And we also have got 2 penthouses, but we didn't put that in. If you're really keen on the penthouses, if you really want to take a look at the floor plan, we can send it to you. So anyway, penthouses, we also will not do analysis on that because if you like it, you like it.
Yes.
It's a very niche market for that. Okay, we have come to the end of our analysis for Zyon Grand. I hope you have enjoyed our analysis and also have really gained something out of this video content that we have put up together for you. Please like and subscribe first so that it can get us motivated to continue doing more research.
If you have more questions on Zyon Grand or even any other project, like what kind of concept I can adopt for different projects and some other projects you have some inquiries, just let us know.
So with that, that's the end of Zyon Grand and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye!